Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where Happy Easter, or Happy Bunny Day here in Animal Crossing World. Yesterday is Easter Sunday, a day full of, well, to be honest, it doesn't really mean much, I think, at least when you're a bit older. At least for me personally, it doesn't mean too much except for it's a bank holiday. Well, Sunday is a weekend normally, but Easter Monday is a bank holiday here in the UK. Of course, it could mean that you feast upon chocolate treats and chocolate eggs and Lindt chocolate bunnies in my case. But hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, it's 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, April 20th, 2025. But yeah, I don't have too much of a sweet tooth. Like I say this all the time, I don't have too much of a sweet tooth, so it's not like something that I am going to go feasting upon chocolate delights in a moment. No shade against you if you are. This is perhaps one of the best opportunities to do so, second only to come Monday when all the Easter eggs are on sale and you can get them up for a very, very cheap price. It's always a sort of like holiday tax you pay to purchase something in time for the actual, holiday itself, public holiday itself. Similar thing with like Valentine's Day chocolates. It's a thing I hear actually quite often, but I don't know actually anyone who does this. I don't know, I think, anyone who has a sweet, or I don't know the intersection. I don't know a person who falls in the intersection of has enough of a sweet tooth that they would want that much chocolate and also, I guess would be willing to tell me, right? I think it's no shade against, we all have our vices at the end of the day. If you love chocolate, you love gorging yourself on chocolate and eating a lot of it, and, no shame in buying what I think is a fiduciary responsible decision to be able to buy these Valentine's chocolates or Easter chocolates or whatever have you the day afterwards when they're all on sale. Mind you, depending on the brand you end up buying, the only thing which you could possibly turn your nose up at, I think, is maybe the quality of the chocolate that you're purchasing. Actually, I'm not sure if I brought this up before, but recently Cadbury's, which is a very, very famous British chocolate brand, infamous, I would say, because I would say are known for our chocolate. Maybe not as much as Belgium necessarily is, or I guess Swiss with Lindt. But Cadbury's is meant to be a very high, prestigious chocolate brand, but they've been taken off that royal list. I forgot what on earth it's called, but the royal list of like endorsed brands or something by the royal family, where it's just like, hey, this is like a quality British good of some kind. It has a lot of random things on there. I spoke about it at some point, I'm pretty sure, but Cadbury's isn't on anymore, which is a bit of a shame. But, well, I mean, not a shame in the sense that I'm like, how could Cadbury do this? Like, if their quality's been going down, their quality's been going down. That's not for me to judge, to be honest. I'm not even sure when last time I had a Cadbury's product. It's probably some just random like chocolate from like a snack box or something, I don't know. From a chocolate box and assorted ones, and you're like, I'm not going to be like, I don't want one. I'm like, what's the harm in taking just a tiny little chocolate bar? Anyway, so depending on the quality, I suppose, of a chocolate you buy is probably more indicative, I suppose, of the savings that you'll have. But I don't actually know how common that necessarily is for companies to go around selling past the date of like, oh, no one ended up buying all these Easter egg chocolates. Here we go. But again, I've never really looked for it, so perhaps I'm not the right person to judge that per se. But yeah, I suppose it's a bit weird to be talking about the discounted versions of the product on the day of the actual public holiday celebrations, but here we are. Yeah, it's not that uncommon a thing, though, I feel. Like, I see it referenced enough in media and etc., that I feel like it must be a thing which people do. But, oddly enough, I think there's not many savoury snacks which appear on, no, I didn't mean to put that down there, public holiday sort of food items, It's always chocolates, it seems. That seems to be by far and away the most common one, but whether that be due to a collective sweet tooth that human beings have shared throughout history, or perhaps, if anything, it's probably more representative of a delicacy, kind of, right? Like, historically, sugar has been rather expensive, so I must imagine that's somewhere rooted in there is the origins of why. Hold on, maybe we should run away so Zippity doesn't have to constantly dance. this entire time. No? I thought when you're far away enough, Zippity just like sighs and stops dancing. Or is it because there's other villagers here? But he just keeps dancing? I guess it's a threshold range? I saw we walked by him and he was just not even doing anything. Oh yeah, when he doesn't see us, I guess. I don't know how close we can get. We get this close, it seems. Zippity, you don't have to dance. Although I think you should be at least in frame. Yeah, but the discounted chocolates, I feel, that sort of thing, I feel like appears in media enough that it's sort of like someone out there must be doing it. Not me, and not anyone I know, but someone. That exists on a specific audience out there, of which I can't say I know anyone from it, but as I say, certainly can't blame you for doing so. It's a sort of thing where it's like, I don't know. If anything, I could see myself doing that if there were more savoury type snack things that you would get equivalent of like Valentine's chocolate. Like a Valentine's and a like bundle of chips or something, which I don't know, saying that out loud seems a little bit insane, but that sort of idea is kind of what I have in mind, right? I don't know, I just like my salty foods more than I like my sweet foods. But that's not as popular a gift. Don't give me Valentine's chocolates, give me Valentine... Well, actually, probably don't give me foods, to be honest. In general, flowers are pretty nice, craft items. Always good. Sorry, but it's not Valentine's, we're talking about Easter. I don't know what anecdotes I haven't really shared about Easter, but the sum total I feel about my Easter anecdotes all happened within primary school, because obviously Easter is not a Chinese celebration, so not something my family really did. It was only something I partook in school, and they very, very quickly stopped doing any Easter celebrations, mind you, because I remember doing an Easter egg hunt in nursery, the kindergarten equivalent in the UK, which I remember not being very good at finding the eggs, is all I recall. Maybe because I didn't find it as interesting. Maybe those are the rumblings from when exploration focused games would never be the thing I latch onto most. I remember one of my friends, he was really good. He got like 16 of them and I got like 4 or 5 or something. I do remember one of them I found was in like, not a safety cone, but they're like the plastic sort of cone shapes which you have in like gym class or that sort of thing. You know, the very sort of flat ones with a hole on the top for easy stacking. There was just one in there and I was like, whoa, I found one. No idea when any of the others was. I barely remember it. I think we were given a basket and we went crazy. I remember, to be fair, I didn't do the worst. I think I did about average. My friend was just an absolute beast for finding eggs. Some people didn't get any, so then they got like some eggs donated to them or something like that. I'm surprised that it wasn't like a rule that there were like some amount of eggs hidden in the garden essentially, and then once you find one, you go back and then you can redeem it for like your own little bundle of eggs or something. You get the joy, and then you don't have to deal with the fact that the kids have some disproportionate amounts of sweets or something in the end. Which you might be like, isn't that just like you know your unrewarding aptitude? I'm like, I'm not sure aptitude of like Easter egg hunting is the most important thing to be rewarding, and isn't it like studies show, not to get all actually on you, but something about like rewarding behaviors which the kids already enjoy result in less motivation to do such a thing or something like that, which if anything is one of the cruelties I suppose of the existence of human psychology, not the existence of it, but the existence but human psychology and the existence of being a human, I suppose. It's like, you're telling me if I like doing something and someone tells me, good job, I'm at doing that thing and gives me a reward for it, I will stop liking that thing as much as before. I need to be motivated by my own sheer motivation, which is, I don't know, I guess, there's a beauty within that, but at the same time, it also seems like a shame because it feels like quite an intuitive thing to do, right? I can't blame people for falling into that trap, but anyway, this has got basically nothing to do with the Easter egg hunts. I just thought that would make more sense, right? Because then you get the collaborative things of like you can help your friends now find Easter eggs and they also get a reward, etc., etc. And then the first 3 people or whatever can get a bonus. Who cares? I don't know. If you want to reward speed or whatever, but I think the joy is the actual discovery and the finding of the Easter egg hunt process itself. you know. And if you limit to one sort of bundle per person, then you won't get the opportunity where some people who are very competitive will try and basically find as many eggs as possible. They're well within their rights to, I think, but you know, at the ages of we were 3 years old or something, I think there's something to be said about having some fair play in the sense there. And you might be like, why are you even talking about this? Because you were not the one affected. And I think that's very true. But for some reason, anytime I talk about some sort of experience, I need to figure out what would be the most efficient way to, you know, exercise this in the future. Anyway, so basically the long and short is I don't think I have any more Easter egg anecdotes or Easter anecdotes. Should I try and see what I did on Easter in the previous years? I'll look at my old photos. Easter 2024. 31st of March 2024. The answer is I might not have been doing anything. It's not really something I come together with my friends to celebrate or anything like that. Like, I don't really know what you're meant to do to celebrate it, mind you. What is this? We went out, I don't know, I guess we went to watch a movie the day before. So that's certainly something. Okay, what about Easter 2023? Oh, you know what I completely forgot to say about the 9th of April 2023? I completely forgot to say at the start of the episode for like the 5 minutes while I do filler stuff. I've been watching a lot of Only Connect now, the Easter, the long weekend. I'm like, I kind of want to watch something, but I don't want to watch a series. I want to watch something which, ironically, for some reason in my mind, is like low. It's other people's reality TV. It's low effort viewing, and for some reason, for me, that's Only Connect. I don't know why, but quiz shows in general. You know, you learn a little. You get to sort of play along. And that very nice of fun. Okay, so on 2023, I went out with my friends again on Easter Sunday. I have no idea what though, or what we were doing. With a picture at Nando's, and we also got McDonald's. Oh, I think it was the Monopoly event, which for some reason some of my friends really, really love. Yeah, as you can see, Easter not really something I celebrated all too much. 17th of April 2022. Can't imagine I was doing anything around then of note. Really, this is just a lead-in for the greatest event soon to be, which is Eurovision, of course. 17th of April. Didn't do anything. The day before, celebrated a friend's birthday. How about that? Anywho, Easter eggs. I don't know. I feel like just like that discount chocolate thing is the biggest thing. You might be like, did you pick up some chocolate for yourself? And that's true. That's true. I have. I've gone, as is tradition, I get a Lindt chocolate bunny for Easter, and I also get a Lindt chocolate reindeer every Christmas. Sorry about that little bit of a pause as we were back in action. I can't remember what I was talking about. I was talking about Easter eggs. Oh, and buying things in discount, I suppose, the day after. Again, not really something I'm going to be partaking in, but, you know, more power to you if you do. Or if you don't, then so be it. Yeah. So, what are we going to talk about for the rest of this episode? I don't really know. That's a good question. What would be like top tier, I think, things to buy afterwards? Because I must imagine there's not many, or all the good chocolates, perhaps, and stuff like that. I assume people will buy kind of like on the day or like buy out the stock of. So I don't actually know how true this necessarily is, but it does feel like it would be the case that the ones which are left over are going to be the ones which are not so good or not nearly as popular. I don't know necessarily if that's true. Again, I am just sort of making this up. I'm guessing entirely. But it's the sort of thing where it feels like that could be possible. I don't know if that's necessarily a good or bad thing, though. And, you know, I don't even know how big the discounts really get. I know, I'm obviously, I'm thinking about, like, clearance style discounts. That's something where it's like, all of it has to go. And sometimes, you know, I mean, I guess it's not really just restricted to whatchamacallit. It's not just restricted to Easter stuff as well. But, like, I mean, what other Easter foods are there? Hot cross buns, I guess. Those don't typically have a very long shelf life, so that's certainly something which needs to go, or not almost immediately, but needs to go rather quickly, I would say. Lest you be left with something which I'm trying to think how to say it, but like a bready product, right, expires way faster than the sort of like Easter egg chocolate thing does, which by its nature is expected, certainly. I don't mean to say that as like it's a surprise or it's a shame, that certainly happens, but the time frame, I suppose, of when it goes onto clearance style selling, sales or whatever must be pretty tiny time frame wise, right? Probably don't have a lot of opportunity for it to even pick it up. Like, I also wonder as well if like shops are like wise to, or they must be wise to this behavior should it exist in the first place, and then like maybe they hold out on doing discount sales of it, I suppose, until a day or two afterwards or something. Or they do a mini sale, then they do a mega sale. I don't know why they do that. Like, that just seems a bit pointless, to be honest. Like, because it's not like we're gonna sell anyway. Like, who's buying Valentine's chocolates to eat? Like, I don't know, in April or something. It's a bit, it's a bit pointless. Like, people want it for the seasonal theming of the day of, right? It's not that it's pointless necessarily after the day, but it definitely does lose its luster. It's no more than just like a regular box of chocolates, which, you know, it's probably not the ideal time to really try and market something which is completely out of season. Who knows though? Again, I'm talking all about this sort of in hypotheticals because, again, I don't know anyone who's actually done this, nor people who really do this in the first place. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just sort of like a, I feel like it's just like, you know, different groups, different I was going to say forms of life. That's perhaps a little bit different. Yeah. I don't know. It could be a good motivation to get some Lindt chocolate bunnies or whatever on discounted price. But if anything, that's perhaps a bad motivation, because it's like, I don't want to eat that many Lindt chocolate bunnies. That's too many. That's a ridiculous amount of things to even. I'm not sure want to purchase is the right idea, but want to eat in the first place. What am I going to do with that many? It's going to be just like a rather unhealthy sort of diet. I think is perhaps the best way to put it. It's going to be overwhelmingly too much of sickly sweetness of something which I certainly don't necessarily think I want. But what do I know? Maybe I don't know what I want. Anywho, I guess I'll round this episode up here. I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I guess we're just going to sort of, you know, we're going to relax, we're going to have a good time. I hope you have a nice, happy Easter, enjoying a time off. I'm going to go make some dinner in about like 20 minutes or so, and then from there we'll see what happens. We'll talk on Easter Monday. We'll see if I see any chocolates on sale, I guess. It's going to be most interesting to sort of like walk through like the streets again and just be like, oh, look, there's all the Easter decorations immediately vanished. We've immediately moved on to like, I don't know, May Day or something. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling, and likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. Until next time, bye bye for now.